What do you make of all the ridiculousness about you and Brad reuniting on all these carpets all season long?
It's hysterical, but what else are they going to talk about?
Brad Pitt has always been more than just a Hollywood actor. For decades, his name has been linked to beauty, talent, and fame, but also to love stories that captured the imagination of millions. From the time he became a rising star in the late 1980s, Brad's personal life became as interesting to the public as his movie roles. Newspapers, magazines, and later social media platforms made every relationship of his a topic of endless discussion. People did not only see him as a talented actor, but also as the center of Hollywood's most glamorous romances. He had high-profile marriages, countless rumored flings, and several relationships that created headlines across the world. Yet, behind the endless gossip and attention, Brad himself has now admitted that there was one woman who had the deepest impact on his heart. This confession shocked fans because many thought they already knew the answer, while others were surprised that his choice wasn't what they had expected. To understand his journey, one has to look back at his entire history of love, from his earliest romances before stardom, to the famous marriages that defined an era, and finally, to the woman he now says was truly the love of his life. Before Brad Pitt was a household name, he was just a young man from the American Midwest, chasing a dream in Hollywood. Born in Oklahoma and raised in Missouri, his early life was filled with football games, school plays, and church activities. Like many hopeful actors, Brad struggled during his first years in Los Angeles. He worked small jobs, including wearing a giant chicken costume to promote a restaurant, all while attending acting classes. Despite his struggles, people quickly noticed his good looks and natural charm. His first known relationship in the spotlight was with British pop singer Sunita in the mid-1980s. She described him as sweet, fun, and affectionate, long before fame added pressure to his life. Later, he dated actress Jill Schoelen, his co-star from the movie Cutting Class. Their romance was short-lived, but it marked the start of Brad's pattern of mixing personal life with professional work. Around the same time, he was also linked to E.G. Daily, who remembered him as a man with deep emotions and great ambition. Brief stories with stars like Robin Givens and Christina Applegate followed, each creating small waves in Hollywood gossip. His most serious early relationship came with Juliette Lewis, whom he dated for 4 years despite a 10-year age gap. Brad once called their time together one of the greatest relationships of his life, showing that even in his youth, he was capable of long-lasting love. By the mid-1990s, Brad Pitt had already become one of the most popular actors in Hollywood. His role in Thelma and Louise made him a star, and his career only grew with movies like Seven. On that same film set, he met Gwyneth Paltrow, who would become one of the most important relationships in his life. Their romance became a symbol of Hollywood glamour. Brad even called her the love of my life during an awards speech, something fans never forgot. Their chemistry on and off the screen was undeniable. Brad proposed to her in 1996, and for a while, it seemed that marriage was only a matter of time. However, Gwyneth was young and later admitted that she was not ready for such a big step. She ended their engagement in 1997, breaking Brad's heart. Despite the sadness, both of them always spoke respectfully about each other. Gwyneth even admitted years later that their connection was major love at first sight. For Brad, the breakup was painful, but it also taught him about commitment, loss, and the challenges of balancing personal love with a fast-moving Hollywood career. Even today, many still remember their relationship as one of the brightest chapters of the 1990s. If Gwyneth Paltrow was Brad's first great Hollywood romance, Jennifer Aniston was the love story that defined an entire era. When Brad met Jennifer in the late 1990s, she was already famous for her role as Rachel Green on Friends, while he was one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Their relationship started naturally, and soon became the most talked about romance in Hollywood. In 2000, they had a lavish wedding in Malibu, with nearly 200 guests, fireworks, and thousands of flowers. For the next 5 years, Brad and Jennifer were the golden couple of Hollywood. They appeared together at red carpets, laughed during interviews, and seemed to represent the perfect balance between movie star, glamour, and relatable charm. Brad even made a guest appearance on Friends, in one of the show's most memorable episodes. Together, they launched Plan B Entertainment, which later became a major film production company. But behind the perfect image, cracks slowly began to appear. Jennifer admitted in an interview that she wasn't sure if Brad was truly the love of her life, which created speculation. Then came rumors of Brad's growing closeness with Angelina Jolie on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. By 2005, Brad and Jennifer announced their separation, breaking the hearts of millions of fans who had believed in their fairy tale. For Jennifer, the divorce was painful, but she always avoided speaking badly about Brad. For many fans, however, their marriage remains the greatest what-if love story in Hollywood. If Jennifer Aniston represented Hollywood's fairy tale, Angelina Jolie represented Hollywood's firestorm. Brad and Angelina met in 2003 while filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a movie about two married assassins. Their on-screen chemistry was electric, and rumors of a real-life romance quickly spread. In 2005, after Brad separated from Jennifer, the rumors became reality. Soon, Brad and Angelina were seen together publicly, and within a year, they were raising children as a family. Brad formally adopted Angelina's children, Maddox and Zahara, before having 3 biological children with her. Together, they became known as Brangelina, one of the most famous celebrity couples in history. They used their fame not only for movies but also for global causes, visiting refugee camps, and speaking about humanitarian issues. In 2014, they married in France, with their children playing major roles in the ceremony. For a time, it seemed like Brad had found a new chapter of love and family. But by 2016, their relationship had collapsed under pressure. Angelina filed for divorce after a reported incident on a private plane, leading to years of custody battles and public drama. While Brad denied the worst accusations, the separation was messy and painful. What began as one of Hollywood's most passionate romances ended as one of its most bitter breakups. For Brad, the years with Angelina were transformative but also filled with chaos and loss. After his split from Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt stepped away from public romances for a while. His life had been shaken by divorce, custody fights, and personal struggles. During this time, Brad focused on therapy and admitted to battling with alcohol. Slowly, his name began to be linked with new women. Rumors connected him with MIT professor Neri Oxman, though she denied they were romantically involved. Later, he was seen with German model Nicole Podorowski, but that ended quickly. In 2022, he was linked to model Emily Ratajkowski for a short time. The most stable relationship came with Ines de Ramon, a jewelry designer who had recently divorced actor Paul Wesley. Unlike his past flings, this romance seemed to grow stronger with time. By 2024, Ines had moved into Brad's home, and they appeared together publicly at the Venice Film Festival. Fans noted how happy and relaxed Brad seemed with her, suggesting he might finally have found peace. Still, despite his new relationships, the public continued to connect his name to Jennifer Aniston. For many, no matter who Brad dated, Jennifer remained the one love story that never faded. Even after their divorce, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston never completely cut ties. Brad once admitted that they still had a deep friendship, something that surprised many fans. In 2019, Brad attended Jennifer's 50th birthday party, and in 2020, they shared a warm moment backstage at the Screen Actors Guild Awards. Photos of them smiling and holding hands went viral, reigniting speculation about a possible reunion. That same year, they reunited for a charity table read of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where their natural chemistry was clear for everyone to see. Jennifer has often spoken kindly about Brad, even saying years ago that she would always love him. For Brad, looking back, his years with Jennifer seemed to represent a kind of stability and happiness that none of his later relationships fully matched. Recently, Brad has confessed that Jennifer was the love of his life, a statement that brought his journey full circle. It may not mean they will reunite romantically, but it shows that some bonds never truly fade. For fans, this confession was both emotional and satisfying, confirming what many had believed for years, that Jennifer Aniston was always the one who held Brad's heart. What makes Brad Pitt's recent confession so meaningful is the timing. It comes not from a young actor caught up in passion, but from an older man who has lived through success, heartbreak, and personal struggles. After facing divorce, custody, battles, and his own inner demons, Brad has found clarity about what love truly means. His confession about Jennifer Aniston shows that some connections, even when they end, remain the most important stories of our lives. Brad's love life has been a mix of romance, passion, drama, and chaos, but in the end, he admits that Jennifer was the love who never faded. For fans, this is more than celebrity gossip. It's a reminder that true love can leave a mark that lasts forever, no matter what comes after. Brad's journey shows that sometimes it takes decades to recognize the depth of a connection. And even when life moves on, the heart remembers its greatest love. One of the most fascinating aspects of Brad Pitt's love life is the difference between how the public saw it and how he actually experienced it. To the outside world, Brad always looked like the perfect leading man, living a dream life filled with fame, money, and romance. When he walked red carpets with Gwyneth, Jennifer, or Angelina, the cameras captured images of a man who seemed to have it all. But as Brad himself later admitted, the reality was often very different. Fame created a constant spotlight that made his relationships harder to manage. Every smile, every handhold, every rumor became news. For Brad and his partners, privacy almost didn't exist. This intense attention often placed unbearable pressure on his romances. He once confessed in interviews that he used substances like alcohol to deal with stress and personal emptiness, showing that even Hollywood's golden boy was struggling inside. While fans saw fairy tales, Brad often lived through misunderstandings, fights, and loneliness. He described feeling trapped in a cycle of trying to maintain an image rather than living honestly. This contrast between image and reality explains why some of his most glamorous relationships ended in heartbreak. It wasn't just about incompatibility, but about the crushing weight of being constantly judged by millions of strangers. Looking back, Brad's love story is not just about romance, but also about survival in an environment where every mistake is magnified. His confession about Jennifer Aniston being the love of his life feels honest, partly because it comes from a man who has finally dropped the need to impress the world. He no longer needs to act like a Hollywood prince. Instead, he speaks as someone who has faced pain, grown from it, and can finally be real about what he values most. Even though Brad Pitt's life has moved forward, and Jennifer Aniston has also lived her own story, fans continue to hold on to their romance like it is frozen in time. Social media proves this obsession every time Brad and Jennifer are photographed together. The internet explodes with comments, memes, and hopes of a reunion. Why does their story still matter so much? The answer lies in the way people saw them as symbols of stability, charm, and balance during the early 2000s. Unlike other celebrity couples who felt distant or unrelatable, Brad and Jennifer had a warmth that made fans feel close to them. Jennifer was America's sweetheart because of her role in Friends, and Brad was the handsome movie star every magazine cover adored. Together, they represented not just a marriage, but